Well, just while I'm waiting for this to get started, this will start recording whenever. I hope everything's going well this last couple of weeks until the holidays. Streaming health has started. Saying I've got full streaming. All right. I'll just check the sound. How's that? And wait for a second. And of course, I've got my sound turned off. Okay, try that. Beauty. Okay, it's a couple of seconds. So, it is currently week 9 for us, so we have 2 more weeks for this term. I'm just going to close. So, we're really busy at school, obviously. You guys will be busy at uni. To give you some, the 2 things I'm going to touch on today is to give you some kind of idea of the reporting schedule, and also look at our e-portfolio and how to adjust your standards. I may have already covered that in a couple of other videos, but some people have asked me about this again, so I'm recovering it again in case anyone's interested. Alright, so I'm just going to switch over to screen. Sorry, bear with me. My mistake. Alright, so why are you not doing that? That's fine. You don't need me. So let's do that and switch to my other screen. Okay, so this is just a Word document. So this is not really confidential. This is how we do our middle school assessment reporting timelining and senior school. So to give you some kind of idea, week 9, which is last week, sorry, we're about to go into week 10, we've already started closing off marks and getting ready for doing reports. Now, you can see here, Friday afternoon is when the reports are sent home. So those reports need to be printed the day before that, like the Thursday. Or actually, they're printed back here. Okay, so Wednesday reports are printed, year 10, and that reports are printed. That gives us a chance to get everything signed, because it has to get signed by the tutor, the heads of house, or this is a head of senior school or head of middle school, and the principal as well. Now, the problem you've got is when you're signing them and you happen to find a mistake, you need to send back that report to be changed and resent. So to counter that, we make sure that they've been checked before then. So that takes us a couple of days it takes us a day to make changes. So our changes have to be made by Monday, which means that we have to proof them before that. So the Wednesday back here is when all the things are proofread. Proofing takes a fair amount of time, although this time we only have to proofread in middle school, and have to proofread the tutor's comments, not all the subject teachers. So it means that if we're proofreading these, it still takes us about a day or so to proofread, because if I say I'm proofreading 3 or 4 classes, that's still 120 reports I need to proofread. And you want to be really careful that the right name is on the right report. There's no spelling mistakes, that it makes sense, while still maintaining the how would you put it? The style of the teacher that's written the report. So we tend to suggest corrections, and then they can go back and make those changes. Now, the only way we can proof the reports is if they've already been written. So here we've got Wednesday, so it's Wednesday this week, so week 10. All the reports need to be in for the middle school. So if the reports are in by then, it means that on Monday, or so realistically over the weekend, all our middle school people would have written their reports, which means that your marks period needs to have closed on Friday, just gone on week 9. So that's 2 weeks. It takes 2 weeks turnaround. Right? Now, the fact that the marks period closed, realistically, you would have actually closed a couple of days before that, so that way you can make any changes. Now, some people will close it on the Friday and then finish off any marking they've got over the weekend, make sure that all the marks are in, so that way the tutors can enter their reports. So there's quite a lot of work needs to be done. In fact, we're actually looking here that in week 11 on the Monday is when the year 7 to 9 tutor comments are entered into Synergetic, and the proofing happens after that. So there's quite a lot of fluctuations that can take place. Realistically, we want to give out a quality report to the parents so they can understand what's going on with their students. Okay, so that's to give you an idea of what the reporting's like. Next thing I want to cover, let's get rid of that, is your ePortfolio. Now, can I please point out, Google Sites is a simple ePortfolio. If you're using this template that we've set up for you, it's a very simple version. There's lots of better ePortfolios that you could use. There's Wix is one of the favorite ones. Weebly is another favorite. But you do need some skill to be able to use Wix and Weebly. Not very much. If you want to build your own, you would actually go with probably something completely different again. But we do not expect people to be expert website designers. It's not one of the requirements of a teacher yet. We do expect you to be able to use technology, and so utilising the Google Sites is one way of actually developing all your skills and presenting all your standards and understanding how ePortfolio works. So Google Sites, if that's the one you're using, there's a couple of different things that you need to take into account. The two things I want to focus on today is reflective practice and standards. I know I've already covered them before, but I just want to cover this again because people have been asking questions. Reflective practice is where you put in your comments. All right. Now, this is something that's going to be addressed when when your stuff is marked. To actually add a new post, all I'm doing is going new post. This is actually creating a page in the background. All right, so I've said new post. I just want to change this. So this is going to be editing your blog. Okay, so this is it's exactly the same as a Word document. It's got some nice boxes and stuff. All right. When editing your blog, select new post, and this creates a new page where you can post about your experiences, thoughts and feelings and everything. All right. When you're doing this, keep in mind the standards that you're reflecting upon. Okay, so in this case I'm actually using technology, so it might be standard 3.4 and 4.3. I think off the top of my head, I could be wrong. Using technology to communicate effectively, which could also be part of standard 5. Okay. Now, if I hit save up here, I can add in pictures. Right? I can add in links to YouTube clips. I can add in links back to my standards. Right? All with this button here. Right? If I go insert, there's lots of different options in here. There's also Google Gadgets, which allows you to do all kinds of cool stuff. Lots of stuff you can do. So embed. But once I'm finished, I just hit save, and that will save that page. And just grab. Right, so that's all saved. Now, if I go back to my reflective practice, you can see that that's put there. So this page, it just grabs a snapshot, puts in here. All right. So you can see all the different snapshots I've got. All right. You want your blog to be a progress or a learning journal of your experiences as you're going along. So if you've just been to a lecture and the lecture was on how to use technology, I would be getting in and going, I just went to a technology lecture. Do the pros, the cons, or some feedback, or an overview. Maybe add in a photo or a link, right? So that way you've got something to reflect on. Now, the standards section. Okay, if I click on standards, I come up with this one. Now, this is one of the first things I do to check to see if you've made any changes. If I click on standards, not any one of these standards underneath, but the actual standards button, it comes up with a picture of the ePortfolio e-certificate, your LAMS e-certificate, and it's got my name on there. Now, if this is still here, it means you haven't changed it. All right, so that's one of the things that you want to do. To change it, you're going to click Edit Page. Okay, and then you would take out this picture and put in your picture once you've got your e-certificate from me. Right. The other thing is, if we go to standards, so if I go to standard 1, this is the most simplest way that we could find to allow you to do your reflection against each standard. So say I want to talk about standard 4, which has got nothing here. I can click anywhere in this section, and it brings up things I can edit. So I can edit the standard, which I don't want to do, or I can put in my reflection. When addressing Aboriginal students, you need to keep in mind their cultural aspect, cultural heritage, and links. Full stop. You might also talk about their sorry experience. They've also got their they go on times out. They also don't show videos of people who passed away, Aboriginal people passed away, unless they're very important people, same as photos. So that you'd all write in there. Okay. When I hit save, and now it says in. Right, so that means you can go and click in any of these boxes and cut and paste in your LAMP stuff, maybe with a bit more pedagogical reflection. This, what I've just written here, will be very poor standard. You want to add in a lot more details than that. There's no way of adding in links. That is the big issue. You can actually put in the link, but it just won't be a highlighted link or something. Now, a different alternative is to get rid of this box altogether. Right, so actually, if you don't want this, and I'm just going to click in here and copy this. Right, if you don't want to use this box, a much better way of doing this, if you're interested, we can actually get rid of this box completely and turn it into a like an essay format. So if I go up to change and I go change page template, right, it says web page. I can select anything. The current one is list, but if I actually just hit cancel, sorry, my mistake. That normally doesn't work. Right, change page template. Alright, and I go change, and it says an error. It always says an error occurs, partly because there's already content there. Alright, so if I go cancel, I've now lost my headings. Right, but now I've got back to a normal page. If I go edit, know the students and how to learn, I want to keep that. Don't change that. The first one I want to look at is standard 1.1. Okay, under standard 1.1, if I hit paste now, this is the physical social characteristics. Now, when you're doing this, I can adjust this, I can change the edit, whatever, but can I suggest you actually change your format to remove formatting, or just go normal text, alright, or change this bit to heading if you want. Right, so use this section. Use this section up here for your headings, right? For adjusting your stuff. There we go. Right, rather than using this section, right? So now I've got standard 1.1. So now you can put in exactly what I want to. Students in a world where half of their time is spent online. Therefore, when addressing issues in the classroom, we want to extend the classroom experience to be online too, thereby capturing the students' thoughts in their own environment. Right, again, that's a very poor post. I expect you to do a lot better than that. I'm just doing it quickly. So that's my first part. I can then go down and I can go, all right, next thing I'm going to do, all right, standard 1.2. All right, standard 1.2 and then whatever 1.2 is. All right, so 1.2. So you can cut paste. Now, here, say I've got, I want to put in a link. So here, half the time is spent online. Well, that might be something you want to actually link to. So I can go link. I can add in either back to some of my reflective practice, so something I've written. All right, so here I've got editing your blog. All right. Okay, so now when they click on that, it will take them into the blog post I just did. All right. Alternatively, addressing issues in the classroom, maybe this is a YouTube link that I want to get to. So it might be www.youtube.com, and then there'd be all the extra stuff / so. All right. Again, open a new window, but I'm just going to put that one in for now. Take its time. Come on. Oh, so I don't want that. I want a web address. Text display URL done. Okay, so now that's a link to. It's just straight to YouTube. It's not actually to anything else. People won't see this other stuff that you see. They won't see that, but that's a way of removing it. All right. So if I want to click on remove or change the text away, all right, if I do that, it's still there. So now I've got those in there. So you'll add in 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, and so on, all the way down. When I'm done, I click save. Okay. Now, so this link's here. If I click on this, it will take me to YouTube. If I click on this, it will take me to my post that I just did a second ago. All right, so it's a way of linking your standards to your posts, which is a good idea. Now, say you've accidentally done this, you go, oh no, I wanted my boxes back. Well, if I go up to here, this is a way of losing everything. Go change page template again, and I go back to my list. Go change the actual boxes are sitting in the background. Okay, so I still have this, So it's a way of actually getting rid of that list. All right, you may wish to keep adding in this now. All right, so if I go back to edit, okay, I can continue adding stuff in here. So you might paste all this stuff up. Once you're happy with it, then you can actually delete the boxes out. All right, so that's one way of dealing with the issue that you can't add links. This becomes a much bigger thing because you can add in pictures, you can add in assignments, you can add in links, you can add all sorts of things in. It's much more interesting. It looks better. As I said, this was done so that way every single person has the ability to add stuff in without too much difficulty. This looks so much better. If you want to go better again, you probably go to Wix or Weebly. However, you need to make it easy enough for people to navigate, especially your mentors who are going to be marking it. The standards this year, your mentors will look at every single standard, not just standard 1 or 2 or just a couple of random ones. They're going to look at every single standard and identify all the different things that you've done, whether or not you met the standards at graduate proficiency. All right, well, that's basically it for me for today. I'm not going to go through any more detail than that. I've covered a couple of different things. I'm having about 20 people watching these videos, so if you wish to continue watching them, that's fine. I'm finding that if there's not enough people watching them, then it's kind of pointless for me to do them. So therefore, I will keep going until the end of the term and then see how we go. All right, see you later.